This is your eclipse season 2025, the final season reading. Here today with me is Chris Reck, my good friend from Minnow Pond Tarot. We're going to be jumping into the energy of these eclipses that are coming up that are super powerful. And we're going to be doing all 12 signs, of course, with a bonus reading at the end to give you some actions and things you can start doing right now. So we'd love to hear in the comments where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you're feeling this full moon that's coming up very soon at the time of this recording, but this energy is going to be lasting for a very, very long time, at least until next spring. So, hey, Chris, how you doing? Welcome back.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great to have you here. I always love doing these readings for you. Thanks for coming back on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we've got these eclipses coming up, and the last time you and I did a reading for the eclipses, it was really interesting, the stuff coming through, and this energy is still here from the last time we did those readings, and because we're moving into the next round of eclipses. So just in case you're not aware of what's happening here, on September 7th, we have a total lunar eclipse. It's also with a full moon. It will be at 15 degrees and 22 minutes in Pisces at 1:08 p.m. Central Time. So you'll have to adjust for wherever you are in the world. So that'll be the first eclipse, September 7th. And then the second one will be September 21st. This one is a partial solar eclipse with a new moon, 29 degrees and 5 minutes in Virgo at 2:54 p.m. Central. So again, adjust that to your term. Now, the one thing that's interesting about this is the second new moon in Virgo, that second eclipse, because we actually have a new moon at the end of this month here in August on the 23rd at 0 degrees. So I thought that was kind of interesting, Chris, where we have one new moon at 0 degrees and then one at 29 with these eclipses. Is that, bringing up anything for you, or what do you think about that cycle there?
Yeah, it is because 0 degrees makes it a wild card. So it's like, anything could happen, right? So, and 29 almost zero. So yeah, that is pretty weird.
Yeah, and I have noticed that there's always this energy transition that I feel when we move from one sign to the other, moving out of Leo into 0 degrees Virgo, having that new moon right away there. It's almost like it is setting an energetic boundary around these eclipses. And these eclipses do last, this energy, like I said, about 6 months. In fact, our next eclipse will not be until February 17th. 2026, which there's a lot of things going on in February.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be talking about that coming up, but there's an annular solar eclipse in Aquarius, and then the total lunar eclipse on March 3rd back in Virgo again. So it's going to be really interesting to see the way this energy is hitting you. Are you feeling anything unusual since we last spoke? Last time you were on my channel, we did the rest of 2025. Has anything come up for you?
Not really, but I will say, like, the weird thing is that in the readings, on a personal level, nothing, but in the readings, just even this week for the weekly readings for the 11th, right? Almost everyone had the Eight of Cups, which is the eclipse card in the tarot.
Oh,
And so it is interesting that it's like hitting now, early.
right. Yeah.
Right before it. So that's like one thing. And the other thing is that, like, I was thinking of that I think is weird is that, like, a lot of the readings, like, the theme has been not basically saying don't try to be perfect, just get started, don't but also perfectionism has come up a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that maybe this Virgo eclipse is really hitting that perfectionism thing with the south node there too.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. See, that's the thing is we're feeling this energy intensely now as we get closer and closer to Virgo
Yeah.
season. We also, at the time of this recording, which is August 6th, we have a very powerful full moon in Aquarius coming up with some Mars aspects that are going to be a little intense. And I'm already hearing reports of people's sleep being disrupted, really crazy dream time. What about you? Have you had any of those issues with sleep disruption
I've
or
been
dreams?
sleeping like way more than usual, which is
Mm-hmm.
weird for me. Except the other night I did wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, couldn't fall back asleep. So like one night, but lately, like I've been going to bed at like 8 and I'll sleep until like 6,
Yeah.
so like extended sleep, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely been feeling that way too. And I've been feeling extra fatigue during the day that I don't like at different
Yeah.
unusual times. So that's interesting. Another interesting thing that's come up, I wanted to bring up with you, Chris. You and I talked about this, I want to say back during our retrograde show we did, but we both kept talking about how we felt like some other shoe was going to drop, some other
Oh, right.
yeah, like something else was coming. And you've talked a lot about 2025 was going to be a huge year. What was your kind of big thought on 2025 being like a big reveal or something to that effect?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it since 2016, that by the end of 2025, that aliens, right? That
Yeah,
would be my big thing. Neptune and Pisces, so I've been saying this forever because, technically Neptune doesn't leave Pisces until really the very beginning of 2026. So,
right.
I've been saying that Neptune and Pisces is deception. Like, I became obsessed with it years ago for whatever reason, Neptune and Pisces specifically. And it's like not bad, but there's that deceptive hidden things that are hidden coming to light. Stuff like that can happen during the time. So yeah, and now they're saying that this giant alien ship is gonna come vaporize us. So there you go.
That's what
I'm
I was
ready.
gonna. That's what I was
I'm ready
gonna
to be
ask you.
vaporized.
That was my
Yeah.
next question. Is Three Eye Atlas this big reveal you've been feeling coming this whole time?
Yeah, I don't know. And again, people have brought up like Project Bluebeam, which is, if you don't know, like a government conspiracy, and that's a problem with Neptune and Pisces, I would say as
Mm,
well, is that it could be. The problem is it could be real, it could be fake.
yeah, that's
So
exactly right.
that's like the worst part about, that's like my thing about this eclipse time, but also, more specifically the end of the year and the beginning of the year is that, we already see a lot of these things going on right now. Like
Hmm.
a lot of stories that they're like, oh, this is real. Oh no, wait, actually, this is fake, right?
Right.
And but I think there's going to be more of that at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I
But what
think
is real and what is fake?
right, and what
You
is
know?
also both, where it's like
Yeah, right.
disinformation, right? There's some truth and some phoniness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. I've been really interested in this Three Eye Atlas thing and the other two interstellar stellar objects that have been coming through, and it made me think about your prediction with this energy. And then in February, February 20th is the big, huge Saturn. Neptune conjunction, and of course we have that eclipse right before that. I mean, there's just so many things coming. It's like what is going to be revealed as a psyop, and what's going to be revealed as, hey, this has been here all along. We've been hiding it from you.
Hmm.
But I think for me, I don't. I want to get your take on this too. But for me, it's like anything that's rooted in fear, I immediately distrust. Anything that somebody's
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. I'm like, hold on. I mean, that to me feels like that's some kind of distraction. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think also that it's like everything is happening in the perfect time. AI happening at this time, right?
Hmm.
All this. I look at the end of Neptune and Pisces and going into Aries is like trusting yourself. I mean, which we've talked about on here before. I think that both placements, as it's weaving into Aries and then it clears into Aries, right? Around that time, February, both Neptune, end of February, right? It's like February 23rd, they both move in back in officially, right? Because
Yeah.
January is Neptune, February 23rd or whatever is Saturn. And so, I think it's interesting it's happening at this time because it's like Neptune and Aries is, needing to save yourself, needing to not look for a savior. So we've been prepped for a long time to find our own answers, to
Right.
have our own answers as well.
I really like that. I just came across a video the other day talking about how AI is helping us decipher the sea scrolls in a new way and all these ancient
Yeah.
texts. It's bringing it together in a easier way that would take humans so much longer to be able to put the puzzles
Hmm.
together. It's like it's arriving at the right time. So I love that. And actually, I kind of want to take a poll. Everybody who's listening or watching later, what do you think? Do you think Three Eye Atlas is just another rock in the sky, or do you think it's something more? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below because there's all kinds of ideas. I know I was listening to David Palmer, the Leo King, I think yesterday or the day before. He said that they just reported it does not have a tail like a comet as of now, which makes
Oh
it not
yeah.
a comet. So as of
Mhm.
right now, they can't like label it that, but
Right.
I know I've seen a lot of people out there, hey, this is irresponsible, this is just another rock in the sky.
Hmm.
But then you look at some of the other things comparing it and you're like, maybe it is a little different, or maybe they just seeing how we'll react to the idea that it could be something. So
That's what I think about I think a lot of it is, we are in a testing time. I think that people need to think about that word. People think that we're in a testing time means that we're in a difficult time. But what if they are testing, right? So I
Right.
think about that all the time, that
Yeah.
everything we see is like a marketing test, basically.
Yeah,
They're like, are they gonna buy this or not?
that's such a great way to put it. And you have your great background in marketing, so you probably see it
Yeah,
faster
that's
than
that's
anybody
how I
else.
see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's how I see it.
I love that. Well, anything else you want to add to just kind of before we dive into all the signs about this
Yeah,
upcoming energy?
don't try to be perfect. Messy people are going to be
Mhm.
the successful people right now. And even, I mean, we could go on and on a bit. I
Mhm.
think Uranus and Aries, I mean, Uranus and Gemini, I think is
Mhm.
good for messiness, like just, trying things, experimenting, doing your own testing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
11/11 as I say that.
ooh, I
So
love
there you
it.
go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Synchronicity, and I also would like to add that as a Capricorn rising, Saturn is my ruling planet. It's all that constantly that reminder to have patience and take your time. It also doesn't have to
Mm,
happen overnight. In fact, with Saturn dipping back into Pisces and Neptune dipping back into Pisces, it's just like why even try to rush anything anyways? Just don't wait to
mhm.
start. Like you said, don't wait for it to be perfect. Yeah. Awesome. All right, great. I love this energy. Well, we're going to dive into all 12 signs here, and we will, of course, be doing your bonus reading at the end for the whole collective to pull this all together, giving you some actions here. And Chris, let's get started with Aries. Aries, what are you getting for the eclipse season for Aries?
Aries, you have the lovers, the devil, which is interesting, and the page of swords. I think you're actually trying to decide, like, what. For some of you, I feel like you're trying to decide what type of connection you want. You could be thinking about love, which is weird because I feel like Pisces would be more thinking about love. Although we'll see
Mhm.
what comes up for Pisces when we get there.
Yeah.
But since having Virgo seventh house or whatever, but some of you could be thinking about what type of love you want with these two cards. I also do feel that you are looking at like anything that is toxic and probably cutting it out with that Page of Swords. Page of Swords, it is a good time, I think, with the Virgo energy, speaking of Virgo as well, is like really diving deep on like the things that are causing some sort of effect. Devil, it could be anything toxic and anything that steals your energy. And so I feel that a lot of you, it would probably be a good time for you to look into those, to anything that steals your energy and to cut it out.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We have the 9 of water card here for Aries and the 7 of water card, so lots of watery energy here. And then of course, I've been pulling from this Akashic Records deck lately for everybody. This is the success card. I've been getting for Aries a lot that it's important that you remember that it is time to bring your people with you. I know you tend to charge out and do it on your own, but you are meant to bring the collective with you. So it may take a little more patience and any frustration you felt around your love life, because I am also getting that too. Like you said, Chris, we'll see
Mm,
where it comes up, but it's like you are wanting to just kind of breathe that sigh of relief around things you love in your life. If you're not looking for romance, this could be love for your work, love for your purpose, right? If you're retired, love for the things you're working on a day-to-day basis. And then of course there's that 7 of water card here, which is that idea of I have so many choices, I don't know which one to take. In the past, maybe you would have just grabbed the closest cup and gone with it. And this is kind of reminding you that you do have more options than you may be aware of. And in fact, I feel like what's going to come up with this eclipse card is some of the choices on this card are going to be just flat out taken out of your life. It's just not going to be an option anymore. So it's going to whittle down the opportunities you have there in a way that makes you go, okay, now I see the opportunity for success here. So the big message here is anything around things that you enjoy that bring you love and make you feel successful in your life, they will be left over at the end of this eclipse, and things that go away were not going to help you with moving forward. Does anything else come up for you with Aries about that?
Yeah, I think with the devil, sometimes I think a good question with the devil is like, can you be disciplined with something? Sometimes I think we have a hard time like being disciplined with something that we're doing, but like that is the clue. Like sometimes like maybe we shouldn't try to force ourselves. Like some people say, I'm trying to get this business going or this idea going, but I can't get it going. I can't be
Mm-hmm.
disciplined. I'm like, maybe you don't actually want to do it, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I think because of how we're raised or whatever, we think like, oh, I have to be disciplined or I have to, finish this thing. But it's like maybe you're actually being led to something different. I don't know, it popped into my head.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I know, like, even right now, we're still in the retrograde energy with Mercury. And
Yeah,
for me, it's always like if I'm not clear, it's like I don't have enough information yet. And I think that could kind of speak
right.
to the Seven of Water too. So the information is going to probably come to the surface with these
Hmm.
eclipses for you guys. Yeah. So keep your eye out for those inspirations there, Aries. Love it. All right. What are you getting for the Taurus, Chris? Tauruses.
Taurus, you have four pentacles, Ace of Swords, and the Four Swords. I definitely feel that you have to like leave comfort zones. All the fixed signs get comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
thing with me for a long time, and I think that it probably was Uranus and Taurus, so that caused you to like triggers you to maybe have thoughts of leaving a comfort zone or getting out of doing something that makes you uncomfortable in a good way. That's where your victories are going to come from. Plain and simple. Having the Ace of Swords here, I think it's literally saying that pushing yourself past those places of comfort, and a comfort zone can be uncomfortable, as well, so that's something to think about. And yeah, I think it's a good time for Taurus to push themselves, like try to like like what would happen if you doubled your income in the next 6 months,
Mm.
something crazy like that. If I were Taurus, that's what I'd be focusing on, is like doing something nuts like that. What would happen if you did, like maybe you've been dreaming of moving somewhere, what would happen if you did? I don't
Yeah.
know, plant the seed. That's kind of like what I'm getting for Taurus.
Yeah, I really like that. And for me, I'm getting the 10 of water for Taurus. I'm getting the balance card and I'm
Mm,
getting the deceit card. And I know what's coming up, that sounds a little negative there, but it's more about your thought process towards yourself where you're deceiving yourself about something. Because I feel like for a lot of Tauruses, you're saying that you want this happy home life, you're saying you want this stability, but you're not really pushing yourself in that direction, right? That's what I feel like you're saying too, about like dreaming bigger. You've been through so much, Tauruses. I know that feels like a little bit, I'm not picking on you, but it's like you
mm,
want these things, but what are the things that are really holding you back? It feels like there's just something still out of balance in your energy and the way that you're moving through your day to day. I feel like there's things in your daily routine that could bring in more balance. You could bring more balance to it, and that's going to help you feel that security, that happy home life. This really great card here. So, where are you kind of deceiving yourself about your current effort towards something, your effort towards relationships, your effort towards your health, your effort towards your daily routine? And are there things in your daily routine that you could just get rid of and you may not even miss anymore? I think that's kind of the other thing. It's like it feels like you're holding on to something that you feel would make you have this happy, beautiful, amazing life. But if you're really being honest with yourself, it's probably just getting in your way of doing that bigger thing that you were saying, Chris. Is there anything else coming up for you with that?
yeah, it's like Four Swords. He's hoping and praying for blessings here. But it reminds me of like something I heard Esther Hicks once say. I think it was her. It could be someone else. But she was saying that so many people, if they would, I don't remember exactly what she said, but she basically said people like they try to manifest and they think that they need to keep thinking about the thing that they want, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that they. But she's like the universe already knows. It's like that's what's popping into my head. Like the universe already knows Taurus's dream, but
Mm-hmm.
they have to take the action step of living the thing that they want to be. Which I say to Taurus a lot. So there you go.
Yeah, and that brings a little more clarity too to this card, because it's almost like, are you really even being honest with yourself about how much you want something? Maybe you're telling yourself, "Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
need that. I don't need that relationship. I don't need that dream job. I don't need that." And maybe that's the part that the universe is just waiting for you to say, to own what your heart wants, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
love that. All
yeah.
right, moving on to the Geminis. What are we getting for Geminis for eclipse season?
Gemini, you have the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Strength card. You've been getting the Page of Cups with me, so definitely could be love time for you as well here, Gemini. It could be someone very practical, very straightforward. I feel like it's someone who comes in like very practical way as well, like a traditional way or something. That's like maybe you literally meet this person like in public, not on Tinder or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's popping into my head. I also feel that I feel there's a lot of financial opportunity for Gemini. And I would be like taking advantage of those ideas. I'm a Gemini moon, and I think about this all the time now. Gemini, I say this in all of Gemini's readings because it's like I'm like looking for the wacky ideas, the crazy ideas that like randomly pop into my head. All those things are probably going to make you very successful. I think it's time for Gemini to show off as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like show their skills, show what you're made of. All that Gemini.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And I've been getting this energy a lot for some Geminis. I've got the Empress card here. the 3 of water and the parent child, I feel like some Geminis are expanding their family. Maybe you've been waiting to have a child and now you finally are having the child. Maybe you've been waiting to finally settle down and commit to create that family. For some of you, it's your spiritual family that you've been calling in so that you can really get to work on your work. But this Empress card is really just showing me that like you said, Chris, there is this amazing idea that you just have to actually give birth to. You just have to actually take action on it. And I'm getting that this energy is coming up right now. It's not something you have to wait for the eclipse season. I'm getting start right now. Like you said, don't wait for the perfection, because you're going to want to be able to celebrate during eclipse season. You're going to want to be ready to get out there in a bigger way and say, wow, I'm so glad I took those actions when I did. And now I can really nurture this idea into existence. So it's almost like you have to go ahead and take that action right now. So 6 months from now, your idea has grown to the point where you're the parent of whatever this is. This could be a book, a podcast. If you're retired, this could be something you're doing in the community, some kind of, maybe you're giving birth to a group of people that are like-minded and you're working together on something. But for a lot of Geminis, I have been seeing so much about expansion of family. So congratulations to you, even if it's just deciding to begin building that. But for those of you who are not looking for that, I really think it's right now is the time that you were giving birth to that idea, so that 6 months from now, you're going to look back and say, wow, that was the right thing to do. You're really going to be celebrating. Is anything else coming up for you with that, Geminis?
Yeah, she has this rabbit fertility. So yeah, if you're not trying to get pregnant, be careful, of
Yeah, I was
course.
going to
But
say.
yeah, I do feel like if you need money for something, that it could be coming in as well. Like I tell people always like not to wait for money and things like that, and just get started, and the money will show up. But I do think like if you need money for to get started on something, I feel like it could be coming with that card as well.
Yeah, it's going to help you get started giving birth to that. I love that. Okay, awesome. Moving on to the Cancers. What are you getting for the Cancers for eclipse season?
Cancer, you have the Justice card, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. Could be love coming in for you here. So everybody's getting love. I knew everybody would get love
Yeah.
during this one for whatever reason. But could be a person, knight in shining armor, that's coming in for you if you want it. The Justice. I mean, this could also be like a legal settlement. With the Justice card and the Eight of Pentacles, if you're involved in something legal here. But I feel like something shouldn't be fair as well. I'm hearing like not fair popping into my head with that Justice card for whatever reason. That's a message I'm getting. But it's like I feel like saying life isn't fair, Cancer. And some of you, it's like don't get too caught up in fairness is really
Right.
what I feel like the Justice card is saying. It's like saying that some things are meant to be out of balance. And again, this goes along with the whole perfectionism theme of the eclipse and the Virgo eclipse especially. And the Eight of Pentacles he's focused on one thing. I do think that would be very good for you, Cancer. I feel like I say this to Cancer a lot. It's like if you could just like pick that like one thing to finish, that you would actually finish it, and that should be what you do.
Okay, yeah, that makes, I feel that energy too. I have the Two of Water card here, and I have been getting constantly for Cancers about some new person coming in. Of course, you do have
Yeah.
Jupiter in Cancer right now, and so it's
Hmm.
expanding a lot around you in your home and family, your relationships. And so, yeah, you are doing this, but also a lot of Cancers are getting new spiritual help. New members of their spiritual team are coming in. I'm getting the Seven of Air card too for you guys, which I know, I want to hear more of your thoughts on this. I know you often refer to this as a card of tactics, but it's also being careful that you are thinking through the things that you're doing. So I feel like what you said about, life's not fair. It's kind of like, you may be holding on to something because you feel like it's not fair, but then it's causing you misery. It's like, well, just let it not be fair and let it go so that you can move on to this new partnership. Like the example would be like, maybe it's somebody who's going through some kind of separation and you're like, it's not fair. He got all the DVDs collection. And it's like, do you
Yeah.
really need the DVD collection when everything's digital now? You know what I mean? And then we have this wealth card here. And I feel like that's the thing too, is like, if you're really focusing on the abundance in your life, you're not going to care if something's not fair. You're not going to care. And I feel like this new partner coming in for you is going to show you that. It's like, just let bygones be bygones, let water under the bridge, and focus on where do you want to go? Be tactical about bringing in this abundance, because I do think that with the expansion you're going to be getting with Jupiter in your sign, and then we have actually at the time of this recording coming up in August 12th is a Venus and Jupiter conjunction. It's going to benefit all
Yep.
12 signs here. But that's something that you want to be thinking about right now, Cancers, is what are you still holding on? Like, oh, that's not fair. That resonates so much with me. It's like, let's not worry about that. Let's move on towards the abundance mindset and focus on the new people coming into our life who support our vision. Anything else coming up for you with that Seven of Swords and everything else here?
Yeah, you saying that reminded me of I'm pretty sure it's the After Tarot, where the Seven of Swords, the guy he's stepping forward, he's got the Seven Swords, but there's a noose like right in front of him. He's about to put his foot like in a trap, you know. So
Ooh.
it's funny that you said that about needing to like he's doing everything on his own. You know, he has only five swords. There's two behind him. It's like he probably could get someone to help him on his what he's doing, and also he needs to. He's like it's kind of like the being too close to a problem thing. Sometimes when you're
Mm,
too close to a problem, you step into a trap because you're not seeing the big picture. So sometimes Seven of Swords does remind me of that. It says like we have to zoom out and maybe we need to
mm,
get help of another person. And it makes a lot of sense during retrograde too. It's
yeah.
like double check, second pair of eyes, looking at
Mm-hmm.
things, making sure that you avoid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can speak to that personally. We were staying at a house in New Jersey for our trip we just got back from, and I accidentally sent all my supplements to that house last week on
Oh
Monday.
yeah, I've done
And I
that.
was too
Yeah.
late to get it back. So it's like that was
No.
such a Mercury retrograde moment.
Yep.
I was like, well, there we go. I
Yep.
didn't
Too
double
bad.
check. Yeah, so okay. Let's see. I lost my where are we with my we're on we did Gemini, Cancer, Leo, happy birthday.
Leo.
It's still your birthday season. What are you getting for
Yes.
Leo
Happy
for birthday
birthday,
season?
Leo. Leo, you have the Seven of Swords, the Magician, and the Temperance card.
Mm,
So again, tactics. I think that Leos, it is like a good time for them to reinvent themselves in some way. I think Leos are a little bit ahead of the curve actually right now as far as reinvention, like innovation in life, being a different person. It's if you're thinking like you want to, if you feel pulled to something new, this is what I don't know how to say this, but for Leo, it's like if you feel pulled towards like new ideas, new technologies, new jobs, anything that's new, I would definitely move in that direction with the Magician,
mhm,
especially if it would use an old skill that Leo has. I think that would be very good for Leo, just money wise in general. But
mm,
Leo, I feel like you can have whatever you want. If you, this is what Leo always has to avoid is taking things too seriously.
mm.
Um, so, I think that if Leo can let go of, things being so serious and can get more playful, that they can have whatever they want. Both cards kind of represent that when you think about it. Temperance is turning water into wine or alchemy, turning
Mhm.
something into gold. Like you literally have that power, Leo. But I think like playfulness is what's missing or something.
Okay, that makes sense. And I've been getting this a lot for Leo's the Queen of Air card here. I feel like when you really step into your power the way that you're being asked to do right now, Leo, people are going to be coming to you for your viewpoint on things, and you will be center stage, which even if you're
Mm.
not somebody who's, an extrovert that wants to actually be on stage, you will be seen for your knowledge around something. Now, I also have the Two of Air card here too, so I think that you're a little conflicted about around which idea to follow next. But I always feel like, you've got Pluto opposing your sun right now. Pluto's in Aquarius. It's going to be there a long time. You've got to think outside the box. I mean, we really all do. And then you also have this phobia card too. And what I'm getting for this card specifically for Leos is fear of not being seen for who you really are on the inside, fear of people not really seeing you your true light. And so again, even if you're an introvert and you're like, well, I want to stay home, I don't really want to be on stage, there is still some fear around you not being able to share these gifts or these skills. And so you're a little conflicted here about which way to go next. And one of the big energies I've gotten for Leos all year is that it is okay to try something again, just making sure that
Mm.
you're not getting caught up in, oh, this never works, kind of that phobia card. Like every time I try a new relationship, I get cheated on. Every time I try to move, I have a terrible neighbor. Like we've got to change our mindset there, and try a different approach to moving forward that idea, but keep trying. So does anything else come up for you with that?
Yeah, Seven of Swords I read as fear sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and Magician. It's like you have all the tools. Like Devin just said, you have all these, like, I think that's what you do need to realize. He has multiple approaches that you could take to anything. He has mastery over all suits in the tarot. So it's like, if one tool doesn't work, he just uses something else to get what he wants. So there you go, Leo. I think you have all the tools.
Absolutely. Getting started on that next solar return there. All right,
Yep.
we're moving on to Virgos. What do you get for Virgos for the eclipse season?
Yeah, Virgo, this doesn't surprise me at all. The word that's popping into my head for Virgo is creativity, but like needing to be creative. I think I said this in the last reading to Virgo with you, Devin. I was talking about this. It's like I know multiple Virgos that are artists, and they think their art is like crap, but their art is I could never even come close. I actually have a good friend. He's an amazing sculptor. He sculpts with clay. Like literally, like he could do like stuff in movies, like costume design and stuff, because like the stuff he sculpts, it looks like real, like a real. He'll sculpt the face, and it looks like a real freaking person. He's like savant level, but he thinks his art is garbage, right? So,
Yeah.
I think that's going on here, right? With, Four Wands cards needing to follow your creativity and needing to be more creative, needing to take up more space for sure. Three of Wands, Queen of Wands, both of those cards would represent, again, if you are that artist in life, putting it somewhere so that
Yeah.
people can see it, not behind your couch, like my friend. He literally has all his sculptures like hidden behind his couch,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So
Uh-huh.
I think you need to, let your art out, whatever it is. Doesn't even have to be art. Could be whatever it is that you create.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I've got the Four of Air card here for you, Virgos, and I know what this means. It's time to slow down, take a break. This energy has come up for you over and over and over again. I mean, we're recording this in Leo season. That means the sun's in your 12th house. It's time to slow down and do that deeper reassessment of what do you want your next year to look like. I hope you're planning a little birthday getaway or staycay because you need that time off. You really do, Virgos, because you've also got the Seven of Earth card here, which is letting you know you've put the work in, you've put the effort in. So it's okay to take the time off. It's okay to take a break. As long as you're focusing on the things that are going to bring more joy into your day-to-day routine, because I have this imprisonment card too. So I do feel some of you are feeling a little trapped in your environment. Maybe you're feeling trapped with your day-to-day routine. Maybe you're wishing you were somewhere else right now, like, on a different part of the world, or just, there's something there where you're feeling stuck. But it's really more about finding ways to take breaks on a daily basis and not putting so much on your to-do list where you're not having the time to just let things grow. It's okay to just let things evolve the way they're meant to evolve and take that time to heal, take that time to rest, and whatever's coming up for you right now. And obviously we have these two new moons in your sign, one of the eclipses in your sign. It's going to be intense energy that you can use as a tool to heal, as a tool to recover. In fact, leaps and bounds is what I'm hearing. Leaps and bounds if you use this eclipse energy properly. What else is coming up for you, Chris, with that for the Virgos?
Yeah. Ace of Wands, really good card for growth and out with the old, in with the new energy, refreshing
Mm-hmm.
energy. So healing, refreshing, all those things I think would be good for Virgo.
Yeah, I love that refreshing energy for Virgo. Here it's
Yeah.
back to school season for
Yeah.
us here. It's like new schedules, new school supplies, new teachers and friends in your class. So it's out with old, in with the new. It feels really good for me
It
for the
is.
Virgos. Yeah, I love that. All right, moving on to the Libras. What are you getting for the Libras for eclipse season?
Uh, Libra, you have the Hangman, the Eight of Cups, and the Judgment card. This is like a quick change. It's this reminds me of like being at a stop and going to a start. Like very quickly, accelerating
Mm-hmm.
energy. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
is what I should say. Hangman, he's put himself in Hangman mode, put himself on pause to make decisions or gain enlightenment. Eight of Cups would be like making the decision to walk away from things that no longer serve you, and Judgment would be the like wake up moment, wake up call, taking off, charging forward, leaving the old life behind. So, yeah, it could be like a big change time for Libra, is what I'm getting. A big, big transformation like coming in for you with the Judgment card, waking up to a new life. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I get for Libra.
That makes a lot of sense. I have the Awakening card, the 12 cards, so that would be the
Mm,
Hangman again. So you're getting that twice, Libras. There is an opportunity for you to really pause, during this eclipse season, just like with the Virgos. Plan a staycation or vacation for your birthday season. You have the Five of Air card here too. It says mistakes, melodrama, reassessment. I do think that you are going to be doing a lot of reflecting throughout this eclipse season, but it's going to be something that allows you to see where you've been holding yourself back. Also, for the Akashic Records card, we have Archangel Zadkiel. It says compassion, freedom, and forgiveness. And what I'm getting for a lot of Libras is there is some kind of forgiveness that you need to allow for yourself and for some other significant relationship in your life. This could be even somebody who a passed away loved one. There's some kind of forgiveness that is really needed to set you free here. But if you will allow these eclipses to bring forth that forgiveness and bring forth that compassion, you're going to be set free in a much bigger way. I know you've been hit hard by all these transits and these energies, Libra, big time, but there is something around, forgiving yourself, having compassion towards someone else who you may feel have did you wrong in the past, and finding freedom in that. And that's really going to be where you get this new perspective and you say, I'm not going to let that hold you back anymore. It reminds me of what we got for cancers. It's like, just because it's unfair doesn't mean that it's worth holding on to, right? So anything else you're getting for that, Chris?
Yeah, the Judgment card, they have to let go of the coffin. They have
Yeah.
to let go of something to experience the new life. So yeah, definitely could be letting something go there, Libra.
All right. All right. So moving on to the Scorpios. What are you getting for the Scorpios?
Scorpio, I feel pretty good for you, Scorpio. Three of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Emperor. I mean, literally could be you bossing up. So for those of you that want have a job or want to get a job, this I would get out there. Leadership, I would like any leadership position would be a really good idea. Three of Pentacles, your own ideas. It is like he is putting his work on display here, his work. So a lot of you could be getting attention for your own ideas. I do think Scorpio is one of those signs that needs to stop like settling for crumbs. So, it's like you have to make sure that you're actually getting what you deserve out of something with the Six of Pentacles. And I think the Emperor just says that you're the one that's going to do it. No one else is. Like, so people will keep, basically cheating you out of things if you don't demand like your value from stuff, right? So with the Six of Pentacles, we have to demand our value. We do that by what we give to as well. So if something isn't giving you enough, then you have to give to something else or find something else, right? In love and business, health, everything.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with a lot of the energies I've been getting for Scorpio. When I do my individual readings for all signs, Scorpios lately has been so different from the other 11 signs.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on with you guys? Have you been seeing that too?
They have been different. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
Mine have been
different.
very different for Scorpio. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got the Three of Water card here. So this is a card of celebration, really great energy coming in through here. Also have the Eight of Fire card too. And then I have this Archangel Ratziel card. It says inspiration, mysteries, and Akashic Records. And yeah, I'm definitely getting this energy of once you really realize where people are not returning the energy that you're investing in something and you set yourself free, you take down that burden of trying to convince somebody else that they're not seeing things properly, it's going to really set you free. In fact, I'm seeing that you're wanting to move away from some kind of type of environment where, people just aren't really seeing the light within you as well. Kind of like we were talking about, the Leos have like this fear over not being seen and they need to take action on something, some kind of idea. For you, Scorpios, it's like your environment is not allowing you to be seen. And that's where I've seen this all year with Scorpios about needing to get out in the spotlight. Really, I know a lot of Scorpios in my life who are taking that to heart and really trying to get out there and do more networking. We'll keep going because these people are coming in for you, Scorpios. The people who do see you, the people who do honor your wisdom and the things you have to bring forward. And again, just like you have this ability to bring forth this deep intuitive knowledge, Scorpios, and we need you. We need you bringing in these ideas of things we're not seeing here. But again, with this Eight of Fire card, I'm interested to hear what you see of that. It feels like, again, like just too much going on for others instead of moving you in the right direction. So anything else coming up for you with those cards, Three of Water and that?
Yeah. And the, like doing too much for others, like he is again the leader. It's all decision making comes from him. The people in his life come in a support position, and so it's like they support his vision, and so maybe that's the important thing for Scorpios, that the people that enter into your life, that they don't end up like taking over your projects or your ideas or whatever. Everything comes from you with
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're so loyal and loving that you want to help them, but they don't ever give you credit for the energy you're putting into it, whatever this is,
Yeah.
relationship, work, whatever. Okay, great. So moving on to the Sagittarius, what are you getting for them for eclipse season?
New deck for Sag, as always. So let's see
Oh, I'll
what
switch
is
decks
going
too. I had
on
one ready.
for Sag. Sag, you have a good reading, Ace of Cups, Justice, and the Six of Wands. I do feel like good things. I think it's about time for good things to happen to Sag, just in the first place. So I feel like more comfort coming in for you. I feel like you could feel like you're being seen, especially for those of you that are getting jobs. I think, just based off of probably your astrology, that maybe you've had a hard time like finding something where you're appreciated or you're
Mm-hmm.
even seen and just in the first place. And like this is you being seen. So a lot of you, I feel that could be happening for. I'm cheating a little bit because of the astrology, but whatever. And I think there's definitely more balance coming in for you. Could also be love. I think it's like a good mix for Sag right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been getting that same, Chris, for the Sages about new work environment, new pathway with their career where they're able to really shine. If you're retired, you're not looking for a career or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a new way that you're seen. People aren't overlooking your efforts anymore. You're trying to move in that direction. Now, I do have the Death card here, which I guess would be the Tower card in traditional tarot, but no, it would be the Death card. Sorry,
Death card. Yeah.
it would be the Death card. I'm not used to using this deck, but it does feel like there's been some kind of ending. Maybe you left a job, maybe a friendship ended or a relationship ended, and it's giving you this opportunity to see things differently. Like, oh wow, I never considered doing that hobby. Now I have the time for it. I never considered moving to that location, but now I can because I'm not stuck in this position anymore. And then I have the Two of Spring card too. So there is something magical you're working on. This is an energy. This would be the Two of Wands in tarot. This is an
No.
no. What?
No, we're good. We're good.
Oh, did you?
I froze for a second, so
Oh,
I thought
okay.
I thought we got kicked off.
I thought you were like, no, not the Two of Spring. I see you good. I hear you loud and clear, so I think we're good. Let us
Okay,
know in the
good.
comments if you can hear us okay. But yeah, so, but this Two of Spring card, is definitely, there's some magic available to you because of this ending. So what is that opportunity where you're like, oh, this ended, but now I get to do this thing because this other person never wanted to do that with me, or I never had the time or whatever. Because I also have this overworked card here, out of balance, which I see this with so many Sages in my life, just doing, go, 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 go. So I hope you'll take some extra time around this eclipse season to slow down. I hope you'll look at the projects you're starting and put in things to keep you from getting overworked, if that makes sense. Set boundaries around your time, set boundaries around your schedule, the approach that you want to take. Make sure it's an approach that will allow you to get that relaxation and recovery. Like you're not burning the candle at both ends here, Sages. That's what has to go with this eclipse. I think actually that just came through, is just burning the candle at both ends. Anything else coming up for you with the Sages?
Yeah, balance for sure. Like, doing things in balance with this card, taking your time. Ace of Cups even is like filling your own cup. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
think that's a good thing for
Sages.
Sag. Yeah,
Yeah, and I've had so many reports of Sagittarius changing jobs and things
I
like
know.
that.
So
So
many.
definitely getting that too. All right, what are you getting for the Capricorns for eclipse season?
Capricorn needs to get out of their head, is what Capricorn needs to do. Seven of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, the Moon. Yeah, I think like Capricorn definitely needs to believe that they're good enough to go on the journey. Like the Moon is part of the Fool's journey, but
Hmm.
he has to see something through to the end. Seven of Pentacles is like you double checking or like OCD, quadruple checking things, type of energy where he's like looking at these pentacles and he's saying like, is the juice worth the squeeze? But for you, I feel like you're wondering like, do I have something? Like, do I have what I need to go on this journey? Do I have the resources? Do I have the money? Do I have the attention span? Do I have the whatever? Right. But like I think that there's no nice way to say it for Capricorn because I think the answer is you just have to go there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you have. Capricorn is what I would say.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
that
feel for
makes
Capricorn. They're like another sign; they can have whatever they want, but they have to do it.
Do it. Yeah, that makes sense because I've got the King of Fire card here. I've got the Queen of Air card here, super supportive of what you're getting. And then I have this abandonment card, feelings of unworthiness and rejection. So totally supporting it. You've just got to get out there and do it. I feel like a lot of Capricorns just keep waiting to have a little more skills and knowledge, a little more under their belt, a little more resources. And it's like, no, you're going to get all those things from just doing it. That's what it feels like from this in just focusing on the things that get you excited, that get you out of bed during the day, the things that you feel excited about. I do think too, with this Queen of Air card, similar to like what we got with the Leos, a lot of Capricorns are going to be seen as the voice of reason, and they usually are anyways, but with new things. Like what does Capricorn have to say about 3i Atlas? That kind of a thing, and then also this abandonment thing is just, maybe you've abandoned yourself in the past a little bit. You've allowed external circumstances to get in the way, and you've said, oh, well, that's not going to happen now. I'll have to wait for that, or it's not going to work out because it didn't work out last time. Maybe you were working with a group of people, maybe you were in a relationship and things just didn't turn out the way you wanted and you felt abandoned, but this is where you're going to transform that magic there. And I definitely feel like with the King of Fire card, it's really about just getting rid of the things that you're not excited about anymore. Anything that's making you feel bored. Is there a way you can refresh it so you get excited about it again, or should you just let it go? And I think actually all 12 signs are going to see a lot of the things that they used to find exciting, they're now feeling bored by or unhappy with, and those are going to be what goes with the eclipse too. So anything else coming up for you with that?
Yeah, you said abandon. I was like, yeah, moon. The moon can be any of those like abandonment fears, things like that. And the thing I always say to Capricorn, is like, speaking of this Virgo eclipse, we were talking about getting messy, but I think for Capricorn, it might be more wild side energy. It's like, the Capricorns are like little old men. It's like, again, I have a crap ton of Capricorn in my chart, and like when I was a kid, I had no imagination. I was like, I didn't watch cartoons or any of that. I was like a little old man. I still am,
Right.
but I've learned to play, right? And that's like the wild side part of this, and like not needing things to be perfect to get started on that business or idea or whatever, and just being willing to make a mistake even, I think would be a good thing for Capricorn.
Yeah.
And not just business, anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get out there in a bigger way and play. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Aquarius. What are you getting for Aquarius for eclipse season?
Aquarius. I was hoping you were going to get the three. You have two eights. I thought you were going to get three, but you have the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Actually, I feel pretty good about this Nine of Swords. Like, yeah, Nine of Swords can be like a never-ending nightmare, but to me, it's my Groundhog's Day card, just repeating the same thing over and over and over again, which I think definitely with Pluto in your sign now officially, that you probably are getting out of anything that is Groundhog's Day, like mixing up your routine, your daily routine, doing random stuff, trying new things. I think all that would be good for you, with that energy. With these two cards, it would be focused. Eight of Pentacles, he's working on one thing. Eight of Wands, all those wands are pointing in one direction. I wonder, this comes up off and on for like random signs, and I wonder really if it is the energy in Aries, the Neptune and Saturn, like if that energy is saying, everybody needs to see something through to the end, like be a finisher, right?
Yes.
And that's the energy I get for Aquarius. It's like, don't start something and then be like, oh, I'll go try something else. It's like, be a finisher, finishing things all the way through. And that's what I feel for Aquarius.
Well, that makes sense. I've got the Six of Air card here, so it does feel like they're leaving some old habit behind or some old way of doing something, moving on. Maybe you're leaving a relationship behind, maybe a group of people, but there is something you're moving away from that's going to lead to a lot more calm. But this entire year, I have constantly gotten the love and marriage card for Aquas, like so many marriages or long-term commitments. Maybe if you're not looking for romance, it was more like a commitment to a group of people, to a friendship, to a business partnership. But there is something you're moving away from with this eclipse because it's not really practical anymore. I have this Queen of Air card here too. Being practical, being capable, that's the energy you want to focus on. You want to make sure you are being seen by those around you for the skills you bring to the table. If they're not honoring all the effort that you put in and the way that you do bring that practicality to it, that could be a sign of something that you're supposed to be leaving behind. And then your Akashic Record card is this something missing card. It says intimacy or fertility issues, but it's just like, that feeling of like something's off, something doesn't feel right. And since I've gotten so much about relationships for Aquas, it could be that with this eclipse season, that's where you finally address that issue and say, this, we need to fix this, or we need to call it, and I think that that's, a lot of you are going to be moving away from some kind of relationship dynamic. I'm not necessarily saying you're ending a relationship. There's something that has to shift in order for you to be really embracing this Queen of Earth energy here. So do you have anything else coming up with those cards for you?
Yeah, and I think that like most air signs, I think that you know more than you think. She has these there are like all these little astrological symbols in the blue squares here, and it's meant to be a comfort blanket. It says that she has lived through all that astrology,
Mm-hmm.
that is on the blanket. And so it's like the person on the card is worried about their future, or about what's going to happen. But the astrology is basically like, no, you've lived through all these things in your life,
Mm-hmm.
all those symbols. So you have nothing to worry about. You know what you need to know. And so, yeah, that's what I feel for Aquarius.
Yeah, I love that. That makes so much sense. And you bring so much, you bring so much intelligence to the collective anyways. It's like you can just pull
Yeah.
it down anyways. Even if you don't think you know it, just, look up and pull it down, download it. That's what I think you'll be able
Yeah.
to do really easily. All right. Never least but last, often, Pisces. We love our Pisces. What are you
Uh,
getting for Pisces for eclipse season?
Pisces, you have the Chariot, the Two of Swords, and the Hierophant. Yeah, I think it's time for Pisces. Think outside the box. Thinking is probably going to be very beneficial for you, Pisces. Like also like being willing to break the rules, or find a place where you actually can have your own rules. Right, with the Chariot,
Mm-hmm.
he has to follow the rules of the road, but the reason he's leaving the city behind him behind is because everything is the same in that city. So he's like looking for new rules, and I don't know. That's popping into my head, especially with the Hierophant for Pisces, is that like you and even the Two of Swords says you think things are this way or that way, like she's crossing the swords, but she has that new island behind her. It's like maybe there are no rules that you're making up in your head, or if you're applying it's like we apply certain I don't know what word I'm looking for is, but we apply these rules in our own head to everything that we do, and I think you need to like be a little bit of a rule breaker here, Pisces. I also feel there could be like some mix ups in your home, but again, Gemini in your fourth house, it's Uranus in your fourth house in
Mm-hmm.
Gemini, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can cause shakeups in the home and things like that, but it's usually not a bad thing. It's usually a good thing. So but it is popping into my head with these two cards that it's like sometimes with the Hierophant, we think something is going to have a solid foundation. It's going to last forever, but sometimes it doesn't. Like whatever it
Right.
is, so there could be some
Right.
sort of home based mix up here for Pisces. I feel, but like not bad. I think this is good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I no, I'm getting that too. I have this Two of Earth card here for the Pisces. We have the Moon card too, so something like might be revealed with this, and then of course we have Archangel
Mm,
Uriel, which is passion, spirit connections, and you are such an incredibly intuitive sign, Pisces. But I feel this on the fence energy of where to invest your time and energy. It's almost like like you said, like they're thinking this or that, like the two swords are crossing their arms to the options, but it's like
yeah.
there is something that your intuition is telling you would be a good investment, even if it doesn't look on the surface level like it would be. And I'm even getting like for some Pisces, like you said, I was hearing something maybe in the home is due for some kind of renovation or upgrade,
Hmm.
and you're telling yourself you don't need it, or you're telling yourself it's not going to be worth the energy. But it's like, well, just you kind of have to get off the fence and just put the energy into it, because you'll be glad you did. And I do feel that way with a lot of us are going to be seeing upgrades and things in our life. I've heard you talk about that a lot, Chris. Like for 2025, you talked about like upgrading things in your life, and you use the example of the
Hmm.
Roomba. Same thing here. It's like, what are
Yeah.
the things in our life that we can upgrade in our home that makes us more efficient with the things we came here to do? So yeah, something your intuition is telling you, go ahead and put the time and energy into this. It's going to be worth your while. Is anything else coming up for you with that?
Yeah, you said that, and I was like, oh, the Pisces has been putting something off, is like what popped into my head when you just
Mm,
said that. And I was like, so that's what it is. It's like something you've been putting off, maybe with the Hierophant, or something that you've been putting off doing. I feel like money as well, actually,
mm-hmm,
when Devin just said that too, is like maybe you're putting something off that could actually make you money, or it's like maybe
mm-hmm.
you've been putting off cleaning up your attic, and maybe you find $1 million buried under the rafters. I don't know. Like,
Nice.
don't put something off, is what I
Yeah.
feel like saying with
Yeah.
these cards.
Yeah, and that's the good thing. Reminder for all of us is the eclipses don't really let you anyways. I mean, if you've been
Yeah,
putting it up, they tend to just do it for you, or they make it so
yeah,
obvious that so you have energy to support you, but you're so intuitive, you already have an idea of what this is. It's probably whatever popped into your mind first, right?
yep.
All right, well, let's do our bonus reading here. I always forget to say this up front, but in case you don't know, my good friend here, Chris Reck, you can learn all about him at his channel, chrisreck.com, or go to his chrisreck.com where he teaches YouTube on the weekends. His fantastic channel, Minopontero. Oh my gosh, your subscriber base is just huge there. You have a huge,
Now,
huge
yeah.
following because it's so good. It's so spot on. I was just listening to your Cancer one for next week this morning on my walk, and I was like, oh, that means this. I love listening to it early and then going back and listening again and being like, that's what he was talking about. So definitely go give Chris a follow at his YouTube channel, Chris Reck and Minnow Pontero, and then you can find out all of the things he has to offer on chrisreck.com, where he's helped me so much with my YouTube channel. And you just really inspire people to get started. That's one of the things that I've
Yeah.
noticed from you early on, is you're a great motivator for anybody who's been holding back on just getting going. So links are all below. Definitely check
Thank
that
you.
out. Yeah, thank you again for being here. And if you joined us late, we're taking a poll in the comments. What do you think Three Eye Atlas is? This third interstellar object we've had. We had one in 2017. What was that? Oumuamua was
Oumuamua.
Oumuamua. This is a cool name.
Yep.
And then we had one in
Yep.
2019, right? I forgot the
I
name
don't
of that
remember
one.
that
Same thing.
one.
It started with a B. That was considered like a smaller comet. Then somebody else told me there was one in 23, but I don't think there was.
I don't think so.
But this one is so unique. What do you think? Do you think it's fake? You think it's a psyop? Are they trying to make us think it's something it's not? So let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Chris, we're going to do the bonus reading here, get some actions for everybody. What are you getting for the
Sure.
bonus reading for the eclipses?
I mean, yeah, Devin just said it, just get started. So, Knight of Pentacles, all he has to do is plant seeds in that field behind him and they'll grow. But we have the Ace of Swords and the Page of Cups, like basically everything we talked about today. Love, I think it's a great time for love for people. I'm not saying love is easy right now, but I do think it's still a good time for love. I think the two things can be true at once. And so, like, if you want it, I would go and get it, but you're going to have to go and get it. You're going to have to, go date, go be in public, meet
Mm-hmm.
people, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Ace of Swords, definitely, like, I think people who put in the work to overcome small things are going to have victories. I mean, Ace of Swords is a very good card, but the sword is above the mountain, so it's like usually there's something we have to overcome. It could even be like a little fear. Like, I do think now is a good time for people to face fears, not like huge ones, but those little ones like public speaking or
Mm-hmm.
doing something that you're just a little bit afraid of, and doing that will probably lead to these victories.
I always think of the quote. You were the one that shared it with me originally. The quote by the Spanx creator about
Oh
she
yeah,
she tries to embarrass herself every day,
embarrass
like
yourself daily. Yeah,
sing on an elevator or post a
yeah.
goofy TikTok dance,
She's a
whatever.
she's a Pisces too.
Oh, is she? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. But I always think about that too, because it's like, what's the word? If you're trying to better yourself, like, what's the worst? Being
hmm
vulnerable, and these eclipses are sandwiched between those two new moon and Virgos, or they're within that
hmm
range. So, like you said, you just got to get started. There's so much energy around it, and a lot of support is there, and a lot of things that feel like they're holding you back will hopefully just melt away. You're going to probably be looking back 6 months from now and go, why did I see that as a block? Why was I making such a big deal of that? So just get started, because I definitely have a lot of that energy too. I have the 10 of fire and the Queen of fire, so definitely passion, love, excitement, creativity. And then I have this devotion card here, spiritual practice, intuitive and history. What I'm getting really with all of this is make it a practice, a daily practice, and part of your spiritual practice to work on these things. Like, it's okay
hmm
to make that a priority, these things that you want in your life, whether it's you do want to find that ideal romantic partner, whether you do want to finally create that project or write that book, make it a devotion. Like every day you're doing the affirmations, you're doing the visualizations, you're journaling about it, you're doing the things that set you up for success. And it can actually become like this devotion to call these things in. And then all that energy is there to support you. Because I just love this Queen of Fire and Ten of Fire card. I feel like we as a collective are being, it's letting us know like the creation level is going to go to a new level. Everyone's so afraid of AI taking away our creativity. It's like, don't accept that. I was just like, I don't receive that. I feel like it's giving us the opportunity to be even better with our ability to co-create. What about you, Chris? Anything else coming up with that?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm working on something behind the scenes, and you just said it. So, but about I'm working on a video for talking about curating your reality, because I mean, I think about that all the time. It's like it's like you want something, but there are things like underneath that you have to do based off of like what you want, like actions you have to take, energy you have to be in, things you have to say to yourself, but it like all works together, right? And
Yes.
Ace of Swords would be that. So I think and I talk about this all the time now. So I think that's what people should do right now.
Yeah.
Is like figure out like you want something, but it's like how do you build that pyramid or whatever underneath it? Like what are the supporting elements, right? And do those things.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, the law of attraction and that movie or book, The Secret, gets a bad rap because they don't talk about the steps that get you to the point. They're like, oh, I want a yacht. Yeah. Why isn't there a yacht in my backyard? It's like, you got to start moving in the direction of that.
Moving in that direction. Yeah.
And now is the time because there's such a supportive energy here. And the collective consciousness is aware that this is an opportunity for us to create this. And just can remember that it's a co-creation. So when we co-create, and that's what everything is about with like Pluto and Aquarius, like you said, and now Uranus and Gemini is going to be bringing new ways for co-creation. So there's so much supportive energy for you to feel like that. And I know you said this all year long. We didn't feel like this year even started till June, right? It's like, it didn't even start. So it's okay if you feel behind because you're not really behind. This is part of the collective energy, and I feel a lot of support coming in for all of us. Yeah. Well, any final thoughts on eclipse season for everybody out there?
No, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I know I've heard some people talking about it, mostly the Virgo one being a little bit more challenging or whatever. But I really just don't see that. Maybe like craziness in the world, which is just going to continue until 2033. I've been talking about this since 2016 that we've been in a time of chaos, or we are in a time of chaos until 2033. It shows up even in I heard someone talking about this with the human design of like the world or whatever, we're in a time of chaos until basically 2033. So it's like I think if people could just like do their own thing, focus on living their what you got right in front of you right now, that you'll be fine.
Right. That's I agree with that. It's like go higher with your thoughts. Don't get swept up in that. And you can actually ride this wave quite well. You'll come out on top by being the one who kept creating. As long as you're not, it's not hiding out and waiting for 2033 to be over. It's being a part of the energy, and then you come out on top. So we'll definitely, I agree with you completely. And we'll be back again to talk more about this because we're here to support all of you out here. We appreciate you all being here. And Chris, it's such an honor to always have you on my channel. Thank you so much.
Of course.
For
Thank
being
you.
back. So fun. Time flies by.
It does.
Great. Well, happy eclipse season to everybody. Let us know in the comments how it treats you, and I'll definitely take a poll of what you think. We'll circle back to what everyone thinks about this after this. All right. Well, bye, Chris, and bye, everybody.
Bye.